dirty dancing.
It's all about FaceTime.
The party just started. You know, we're out here. This is Christina DeSouza of Dynamic Dojo Talk Radio and Talk TV, and I am standing here with David DeSouza, Master Harry Mott, and Stephen Barbieri, and I'd like to talk to them a little bit about the program that you guys have.
We're Coffee with the Masters.
Coffee with the Masters.
And we have a week or bi-weekly get-together at Starbucks in Manteca in Northern California, where we have honored guests and masters from all different styles of martial arts come and join us for coffee. And we exchange ideas and stories and just have a whole lot of fun.
Thanks for coming.
It's in post, almost complete. Yeah.
Thank you. 2, 3. Good. One more. Great. Check them out. Make sure you like them. Hello.
No, we were in the back.
Who's getting this jam?
You know these guys?
Oh, yeah. Harry Mott? Oh, yeah.
No, but
Dance, Harry.
not coming. It's Gerard's.
Bow our heads. Lord, would you fill us with your peace so that as we journey onwards, we would pour out your love and grace to others. We ask that our souls would catch the wind of your spirit so that we take your promises to all the earth. Amen.
I really want to start the evening. Cynthia, this is your chair. So I am going to start this roast, and it's kind of in a weird order, but for me it was normal. So I was the first because I was fanatic. The next one I want to come up here and roast Cynthia would be Eric Cole. Let's say your name wrong. And I want you to know my reasoning for Eric being up here now. Because he trained with her when she was just, you know, a nobody, just kicking and punching like the rest of us. He was there. And I mean, he knows really great stories. So I'm going to shut up, and Eric is all yours.
Wow, I think he's the first person to roast it. Everybody can hear me well? All right, thank you very much for having me, Cynthia. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, let me start. First, I want to thank everybody for letting me be here. Cynthia, thank you for letting me honor you today. I guess we can start how I met Cynthia. Some of you know, some of you don't know. I met Cynthia in the Sexaholics Anonymous class. And I'm just kidding. Her and my father, they trained martial arts together. He was her first instructor. And that's how I got to meet Cynthia. Since then, you know, we've become partners. Everybody thinks we're sexual partners. We've had Phil Wallace, Art Camacho. Everybody asks if, is it true? Are you sleeping with Cynthia, and the truth is, we had about 40 or 50 times, and it was incredible, let me just say that. But the problem is Cynthia was never there when it happened. So, I really don't know where to start. I guess we'll start with this trip. So, we come out for this trip, and Cynthia's supposed to pick us up at the airport, and of course she's 2 days late. So we rent a car, Jan and I, student of mine, good friend. We rent a car, go up to her house. She said, go ahead, you guys can sleep in the house. We sleep in the house, and I hear this squeaky noise. Squeak, 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 squeak. I'm laying on the couch. I'm like, what the hell is that noise? I figure, oh, it must be one of the dog's toys. I looked under her pillow. Cynthia, can you explain this to everybody here? Let me get this back. So, she gets in really late from her airplane trip, and we're sleeping. Before that, we look in her freezer, and we find, Trina and I happen to find this frozen banana. No idea why she's freezing these bananas, but they're in her freezer, so we send her a picture and we're teasing her. She decides when she comes home and I'm asleep, she's going to take all sorts of pictures with that frozen banana, and I have no idea. I'm sure she sent them to most people in this room. So the next morning I wake up, they're trying to take these pictures, and I go outside. Cynthia goes in to get dressed and get ready. I go outside to have a cigarette, and I'm sitting there, and Trina comes happy to tell me, turn around, Cynthia's in the shower. So after all these years, I finally got to see Cynthia naked, singing in the shower, washing it all up, and I happen to turn around. I knock on the window, and Cynthia catches me watching her, videotaping her, of course, which I'll show everybody later. And she jumps in the corner of the shower, scared to death, and happens to just give me the middle finger. So, where else do I go? So I invite Cynthia out to, of course, her and my father are really good friends. I invite her out to one of our events about 6-7 years ago, before we became partners. And I introduced her to this guy named Master Yates. Master Yates, he came and supported our event, a great Hepketo master. He comes to our event, and I said, Cynthia, this is Master Yates. She first started laughing. I have no idea why. So every time we spoke, and I said, Master Yates, she was calling him Master Bates the entire trip. Okay, so back to the elephant in the room, about Cynthia and I. We take a trip to Serbia. Me, my father, her, we're going on to do this international event in Serbia. And we were just down in Florida for an event. And so we flew from Florida all the way to Serbia. And my ex-wife thinks that Cynthia and I are sleeping together. So she starts posting it on Facebook. Eric's sleeping with his partner, So Cynthia hits back and she goes, I didn't know Eric was sleeping with Billy Blanks. She got her good. Which other story should I tell, Cynthia? There's so many over the years. About me farting in the room. No, this morning she decides to pop the door open in the bathroom and take pictures of me going to the bathroom and send it to everybody in the room. That was real nice, Cynthia. Another story. You pick it. There's so many different stories. No, we won't talk about that story. All right, I guess I'll keep it to my 5 minutes. And Cynthia, it's an honor to be here. Everybody give Cynthia a big round of applause. I'm proud to be your partner.
I'll throw me down the river in the first one with you. Okay, is that fair? Yeah, that's fair. We'll roll it. I got you. So, when I first hung out with Cynthia, why I grabbed, first of all, her energy, just love this lady. But I gravitated towards her because we were at an event. And I learned something, and I just brought this up to Dawn. What happens with both of us is we're so busy, and we get booked on so many events, and we love people, so we love talking, and we love talking to all of you, and we talk a lot. The problem with that is if you ask us what event we're supposed to be at, we don't know. When we get to the event, you ask us what's going on, we still don't know. You ask us where you're supposed to sit, well, we don't know. Some people have to come get us, physically come and retrieve us. So it was actually a little relieving that I was not the only person in the universe like that. So no, if any of you are at an event, see Cynthia, she doesn't know what's going on there. She's not the person to ask, but you can tell her what's happening. So there. Okay, so for an embarrassing, slightly embarrassing. Okay. So Cynthia became single. Yay! So you can tell who loves being single. Anyway, so she calls me up. Oh, she doesn't listen to it. Like, just been single a long time. She goes, okay, so I have a question about condoms. Wow. Hey! She's like, so, on a date with a guy, do you bring the condom on the first date? How does this work nowadays? I'm like, well, you know, my advice was, well, better safe than sorry, hell. You know, it's, but yes, that was one of those moments where you're like, that happened. So, yes, Cynthia called to ask if she should bring first dates on first condom on the first date. And when, and how many dates you go on with a guy before you even decide it's okay to sleep with a guy? Because it's not like now old times or something like this. Well, back in the day, or however she raised it. And we had this whole thing, and then it ended up in this theory of, I told her, well, I guess it's better to bring the condoms because at the end of the day, if the guy has them, he looks presumptuous and kind of like a dirtbag. And realistically, you're not going to want to go there based on that. So it's kind of catch-22. Just bring the condoms. So anyways, yes, that's happened. Oh, say.
For everybody that knows me, I never lie. I can keep my mouth shut, unlike my brother. I never lie. I will say what you should be kept. So, anyway, my complaint is Cynthia. I had this complaint, and Donna Avery, you should listen up. So, you know, because Cynthia and I are close and we work together and we're friends, so I try to help her, I try to assist her, almost like a manager a lot of times. And I wrote myself a note because this is my complaint. So this is the problem with Cynthia as someone who's trying to help her handle it. First of all, she'll travel anywhere. If there's a region like the Middle East, things are not good, not safe, she has to go. Not once, not twice, 3 times. Okay? This is what she did. So, you know, so you can give her the advice, say, go, ride, it's safe, the people, and that's the other thing. She doesn't need to know the people personally. I'm talking about the promoters. She will go and she will, in my opinion, go for less than she should, especially if it's an unsafe place. And then the next thing is she'll go and then she'll stay. So she's paid for 3 days. And she wants to explore, so she'll stay as long as they'll take her around and show her the site. She'll stay for 5 extra days. These are unpaid days. These are days where the promoter is getting a great PR boost with the star all over town, introducing her to everybody and raising his value. She's getting nothing monetarily, but she's having a ball. So there's no way you can stop it from happening. Donna.
I've seen this already.
And then, and then of course, the other thing is she becomes friends with the promoter. This is who Cynthia is. She's going to be your friend. And she's a real friend. So that promoter, the next time he gets a real bargain. That's what he's doing. So for me, these are my complaints. I'm trying to help her out. So these are the things I run across. And, you know, I know they don't, and this is the other thing she'll do. She will, if she's made a deal, she will keep the deal. She will show up sick. She will show up injured. I know this personally, because she had food poisoning. Flew from Texas in the middle of a storm with my brother who also had food poisoning. Somehow Art Camacho slid by the food poisoning. Both of them had it, and both of them were very, very ill. They vomited for a day and a half straight. She flew from Texas to Florida, got on the set, worked the set right away. Made it through. And my co-producer and line producers were telling me there's no way they're coming. No way she's showing up. There's no way she's going to get on the set. There's no way she's going to work. It's not happening. It's a disaster. Because I know her, because I've been through this with other people down here. I knew she would show up. She would work. She'd still be great. And this is who she is. And I know it doesn't sound like there's someone, but really, this is who we're roasting. So it's not my fault. It's your fault. So it's your fault because I don't know anything really bad about Cynthia. There's nothing really bad about her that I can make fun of. This is who she is, so this is what you get from my complaints about handling her. And I know even they sound good, but even bad. That's who she is.
Okay, I got a question like people ask me all the time, what is it like to travel with Cynthia? And I was like, it's like a snail, you know, every time the snail crawls, it leaves slime across the floor. It's like, as soon as I walk into her bed, you know, to a hotel room, you see one bra here, next step you take a panty, more bra, pantyhose, bra, 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 bra. So it's like, and I'm talking about the bras, it's not like a normal bra, it's like a gigantic one, like a Pac-Man with steroid. It's like, it's this junk that ain't gonna wipe my face off, you know? No. She doesn't look after herself. And it's like worse than a teenager's bedroom. And I was traumatized for life. Like, I have not seen that many bras in my life. And they're not pretty. And now the second question I got asked most of the time is, how can you afford a private lesson with Cynthia Rothrock? And let me tell you, I was stupid to start with, but then I learned a lesson. You just have to travel with her because she is so disorganized. She only brings $5 in her pocket and then the rest of it goes to her credit card. And then, you know, she and I go to all the exotic places, you know, Everest, you know, Morocco, and you just have to realize they don't take credit card everywhere. And then she'll say, Raymond, would you like to learn this form? After my excursion, I'll teach you this form. I'm like, no, not really. And then after a while I gave in and then I learned the form and then the lesson gets, you know, supposed to be an hour and then 30 minutes later it's finished. Yeah, you can learn that, it's easy, you know. How does it finish? I haven't learned the closing moves and then she's like, oh, by the way, Raymond, you still owe me a dinner and a drink. And let me leave you with this one and then I feel a bit embarrassed. It's okay if I tell this? Like,
Yes.
Okay, like, that was New Year's Eve. We were at Sahara, just before we went to Sahara, like 3:45 in the morning. All I could hear was, I had my earplugs on, mind you. And I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. And 1 minute past 4, I heard that big storm. And then I heard, you know, someone turn on the water and start. You okay? I shit my pants. I said, alright, okay, well, this is fine. This is my plastic bag. You can take it and just bag it when you get a Casablanca. next time when Cynthia wear the red and black PJs, you know that's the one that she shepherded. I'm sure she's gonna burn it out, right? So and she cannot stand any loneliness. So every time she asks you if you want to travel with her, go with her. But avoid that red and black PJs. You just stay away from that, alright? But having said that, I really appreciate your teaching, and then I always remember our time on Mount Everest when I couldn't go any further. You say, Raven, you could do it, and then you couldn't go any further. It's like, okay, Cynthia, come on, do it. So I really appreciate that experience, and I'm always grateful for that.
That's enough of that. Now, the next person has known her forever and forever. And I used to think they were girlfriend and boyfriend. I didn't know. Don Wilson and Cynthia, they were always together, two peas in a pod. Don Wilson, I remember, an amazing fighter, extraordinary body, handsome. Who wouldn't drool over him? And look at him today. He's still all of that. Don Wilson, it's your turn to come up here.
Thank goodness they asked me, because I know the truth about Cynthia. I know so many things that she has done that are, I'm not going to say bad, but that border on illegal. So I'm not sure where to start, but I'll just start slow and just build up and get more and more dangerous as it goes on. It's going to just be a long litany of, I'm given 3 minutes, all right? She said me 3 minutes to get to say everything bad I wanted about Cynthia. Anyway, I see a lot of martial artists in here, and I see a lot of guys in the film business. Stunt fighters, martial art action guys. I did a fight scene with Cynthia Rothrock. Now, 28 years as a kickboxer. I am not going to go to the stunt coordinator and ask them to talk to Cynthia and say, could you please lighten up a little bit? I'm not. No guy in here would, because you know what? We got our egos, our manly ego. I'm not going to say, could you have her throw around us? Just lighten up a little bit on it. She's trained in Hong Kong. What do they do there? They hit. Because I did 2 movies in the Philippines. They try to emulate what the Chinese guys do, but no, they hit. So I am struggling now. There's in the scene, we're doing a fight scene in a movie called White Tiger. It's the last thing Joe Louis did. Rest in peace, Joe. If he was here, he would be right. He would be I go ahead and tell him the truth. So anyway, they're running up, putting makeup on me to put the fake bruises on. At a certain point, and it's Cynthia, they stopped putting the makeup. She ran up, and she just stopped and looked and said, oh, and ran back because I no longer needed makeup. I had some marks on me. Now that's my complaint. Okay, that's it's my bad thing. Now I'll say the good thing though. We did a fight scene in a location in Thailand, which I will call the Bat Cave. And the day we were there, Cynthia had been, I think she gets up early, and she goes hiking and everything in the jungles of Thailand by herself. She'd already been to the location. She looks at me, just dragging myself out of bed, getting out of my little cabin. And she says, oh, Don, you've been to the location? I said, no. She goes, oh, well, you'll smell it before you get right to it. And what it was, we called it the Bat Cave. Thousands of bats are living in this thing. Now, what do bats do at night when they're hanging upside down? The cave was covered with the leftovers of the bats from the night before. So that's what it smelled like. So we're doing the fight scene, the big fight scene between me and Cynthia. I'm sworn by the producer not to say who's going to win, but Cynthia Rothrock fans will be sad. But I'm not going to say what happens in the end. But so Cynthia and I were kind of like working, you know, we've only done like 200 fight scenes between the two of us. So let's just decide what we're going to do. And like a trooper, I come up with a great idea. You know, my favorite kick is a side kick. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm going to throw 10 side kicks before I throw a roundhouse. So I want to finish my end of the fighting off with a side kick. But when you throw a side kick, now remember these bats are hanging upside down. What is all that sand covered with? Now when you throw the side kick at the person, that sand comes right into their face. Every take, Cynthia would take another second, she'd stop like a trooper. And then look at me and say, okay, let's do another one. And Right? Yes. Now, it was pretty uncomfortable, I'm sure, for Cynthia. She did not complain. She let me throw my psychic. When we got back to the States, I looked up bats and humans. There are a million germs and diseases that they could have given. That was actually, so Cynthia is such a trooper. Good thing I didn't cry baby about my little bruise. Because she, to make the fight scene exciting, was taking that sand in the face, bat sand, I guess we'd call it. Well, okay, a very kid, bat shit. That's what it is. The nicest way to say it is hitting Cynthia Rothrock. Now that's the kind of trooper she is. My brother was talking about as a producer. Wow, I gotta admit, thank you for not complaining. She does not complain. Guys, when you do fight scenes with her though, get padded up. That's the thing. When we were picking our wardrobe, she looked at me, and you know, I'm thinking it's the end of the movie. I'm showing a little dragon skin. I get a tank top. The movie's just coming out. It hasn't been released in America. You guys can check it out. Yeah, I had no pads, and I know you gave me kind of a look because she knew, you know, in Hong Kong, you pad all up because there's going to be some hitting going on in the final fight scene. Yeah. So anyway, that's the baddest thing I can say about her. She was a trooper. The flip side is I had one good thing. You know, Eric, nobody thinks we're sleeping together. But congratulations, Cynthia. Thank you, and this has been a great night. Thank you very much. You know, I've been to well, not a lot of them, plenty of them, and this one's been my most fun roast that I've gone to so far. So thank you, great promoter, and thank you.
Initially, I had a lot of notes, you know, I was going to do a big roast and, you know, something, I'm Mexican, so I don't really look at it as a martial art. I look at, you know, that's Mexican. Okay, I'm Mexican. What can I say?